So, we're standing here at the corner of Walk, Don't Walk. And you look away from me trying not to catch my eye, but you didn't run fast enough, did you? You don't like me 'cause of my raspy voice, do you? Well, I got this raspy voice from yelling all the time because nobody around here listens to me. Well, listen up, you mammalian-brained lunkheads. I'm not just talking to myself up here. I'm talking
you and you and you and you and you and you and you. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm crazy. You think I give a hoot? You people look at my shopping bags and call me crazy for saving this junk. Well, what should we call the ones who buy it? It's my belief that we all, at some point or another, secretly asked ourselves the question, am I crazy? And in my case, the answer came back, a resounding yes. But you're wondering, how does a person know if they're crazy? Great question. Well, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you can go through a whole life suspecting you are, but never really knowing for sure. In my case, the symptoms are unmistakable to the trained eye. For instance, I'm standing here at the corner of Walk, Don't Walk, and I'm waiting for these aliens from outer space to show up. They're late, as usual. You'd think with all they know about time travel, they could be on time once in a while. I told them to meet me here at the corner of Walk, Don't Walk around lunchtime. Do they even know what lunch is? And round, why did I say round? It's so specific. Oh, I could just kick myself. This is so typical of what I do. You know, this problem just points out how far apart we really are. See, our ideas of time and space are different from theirs. We think of time, we tend to think of clock radios, coffee breaks, afternoon naps, leisure time, halftime activities, parole time, doing time, minute rice, instant tea, midlife crisis, that time of the month, cocktail hour. And if I should suddenly mention space, I bet most of you thought of your closets. But when they think of time and space, they really think of time and space. Like the other day, they asked me my thoughts on infinity, and I told them with all I had to think about, infinity was not on my list. You think about infinity too long, you go stark raving mad. Although I don't ever want to sound negative about going crazy. I don't want to over-romanticize it either, but frankly, going crazy was the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, it's not for everyone. Some people couldn't cope. But for me, I refuse to be intimidated by reality anymore. After all, what is reality? My space chums say it was once a primitive method of crowd control that got out of hand. In my view, reality is just absurdity dressed up in a three-piece suit. You know, I did some case studies on reality, and it is the leading cause of stress amongst those who are in touch with it. So now, I put reality on the back burner, and my days are fun-filled and jam-packed. You know, I wasn't always a bad one. I used to be a designer and a creative consultant for big companies, too. Who do you think thought of the color scheme for Free People? At the time, nobody was putting orange and lime and turquoise in the same room together. Laugh tracks, too. I gave TV sitcoms the idea for canned laughter. I got the idea because one day I heard voices and nobody was there. Who do you think thought to put the phone and the camera in one? But the only idea I'm proud of is my umbrella hat. Protects against sunstroke, rain, and muggers. For some reason, muggers steer clear of anyone wearing an umbrella hat. So it should come as no shock that I am now the designer and the creative consultant to these aliens from outer space. They're kind of a cosmic fact-finding committee. They, amongst other projects, are searching for signs of intelligent life. It's a lot trickier than it sounds. We're doing all sorts of case studies here on Earth. We're determined once and for all to figure out what the hell it all means. But don't worry. Before I took the consulting job, I gave them my whole psycho-history. You know, I went off the deep end. I woke up in the nut house. They were hooking me up. One of the things that they don't tell you about electric shock therapy treatment is that for months afterwards, you got flyaway hairs. And it used to be one of my best features. See, these electric shock therapy treatments gave me a new, electrical circuitry. I mean, frankly, I think one of the doctor's hands must have been wet. I started having these space-time continuum shifts, I guess you'd call it. Suddenly it was like my central nervous system had audition out back. Now, not only do I have a link up to extraterrestrial channels, but one to humanity as a whole. Uh-huh. Oh. Animals and plants, too. You know, I used to talk to plants all the time. So one day, they started talking back. They said, Trudy, shut up! My brain seems to transmit signals that catch snatches of people's lives. The umbrella hat works as a satellite dish. I hear this sizzling white noise like, oh, it's happening. I see a tall, dark-haired girl standing on her high school theater stage. She's a bit dorky. Hi. Thank you so much for coming to my senior project. I am really excited about it. I got the idea to do this show back in April of my junior year when I started asking Mr. Garcia scripts for the dreaded college auditions. And he gave me a copy of The Search for Signs of Intelligent Life, just one big monologue, and I just fell in love with the truth and absurdity in it all. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. I was afraid that not even one person would show up, like 0 people. I was also a little afraid that I'd pee myself. I tend to be kind of a nervous peer. One time it was my birthday, I think I was turning 6 or something, and we were at the log ride, and I got so nervous that I peed myself, but I wasn't even on the ride. I just got nervous for the people in the ride. And, some of you might remember this. It was my first year here at St. Andrews. It was 3rd grade, and I wasn't sure how seriously everyone took chapel. I really had to go. And I remember shooting my homeroom teacher, Mr. Hart, back this look like, please help me. And before I know it, it's by the closing hymn, it's on my shoes, it's on the kids' shoes next to me, it's on the hymn books, it's on the pew. And I realize now that excusing myself early probably would have been less disrespectful than peeing in the chapel. But anyway, you don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to pee on any of you guys or anything like that. It was really only at the beginning of my theater career that I had to wear 6 pairs of underwear and 2 pads to make sure, the show would go on and the pee would not. And, who in the hell was that girl? And why does she lack basic bladder control? That's what I want to know. She seems like a worrier, and I've got enough worries of my own. These trances are entertaining, but distracting, especially since someone else has the remote control. And should the pause button get pushed, well, I could have a neurotransmitter mental meltdown. I forget things. Never underestimate the power of the human mind to forget. Like the other day, I forgot where I put my house keys. I looked everywhere for them, and then I remembered I don't have a house. I forget more important things, too. Like the meaning of life, I forget that. But it'll come to me. My space chums say they're learning so much about us. They said, Trudy, the human mind is so strange. And I said, that is nothing compared to the human genitals. Next to my trances, the aliens love going through my shopping bags. Like the other day, they found this box of Wheaties, and I told them a box of cereal. But they saw it as a picture of infinity. Because you know how on the box of Wheaties is a guy holding up a box of Wheaties? And a box of Wheaties, and a guy holding up a box of Wheaties. We think so different. They find it hard to grasp some things that come easy to us simply because they do not have the same of reference. Like the other day, I show them this can of Campbell's tomato soup. And I say, this is soup. And then I show them a picture of Andy Warhol's painting of a can of Campbell's tomato soup, and I say, this is art. Art, soup, soup, art. And then I shuffle the two behind my back. Now, which is this? No, this is soup, and this is art. Wait, art, soup, soup, art. Oh, God. Soup, art. Oh, it's happening again. We're somewhere in suburbia. A housewife. Oh, I've seen this woman before. She used to sell Tupperware. Hi! About a month ago, I was shown some products to improve the sex lives of suburban housewives, and I just got so excited, I just had to come on public access and tell you about it. To look at me, you would never guess that I am a semi-non-orgasmic woman. That means it's possible for me to have an orgasm, but highly unlikely. But then came along good vibrations, and I was surprised. Now I'm a regular cat on a hot tin roof. As a love object, it surpasses my husband, Harold, by a country mile. But please, ladies, this is no threat to the family unit. I just like to think of it as a hamburger helper for the boudoir. Can you afford to have one, you say? Can you afford not to have one, I say? Why, the time it saves alone is worth the price. I rank it up there with Minute Rice, Ready Whip, and Pop-Tarts. Ladies, it simply takes the guesswork out of making love. So what'll it be? This deluxe kit or the purse-sized model for the woman on the go? Fits anywhere and comes with a silencer to avoid curious onlookers. Ladies, it can be a real help to the busy, married woman who has 1,000 chores and simply does not need the extra burden of trying to have an orgasm. But what about guilt, you say? Well, that did cross my mind. But at one point, I felt guilty for using cake mix instead of baking from scratch. I can learn to live with that. Oh, I can learn to live with this. I hear music. We're somewhere in a full face of makeup and dangling jewelry. Woo! Shake it out. Go for the burn. I've been on 4 job interviews today, Eileen, and I've got 1 more to go. Yeah, I lost my job at the answering service because I refused to lie for people when they wanted me to say they were out when they weren't. These days, integrity is not a required skill, Eileen. This may sound like a cop-out, but some of my job problems are not my fault. Like, I'm dyslexic, so they tell me. I don't type, or file, or spell well. And I mean, it's hard to type when you can't spell, and it's hard to file when everything you type looks like alphabet soup. I do better at something creative. I am somewhat creative. I just somehow lack talent to go with it. And being creative without being talented, well, that's a bit like being a perfectionist without being able to do anything right. I always wanted to be somebody, Eileen. But I realize now, well, I should have been more specific. It's not that I lack ambition. I'm perfectly ambitious in the sense that I want to be more than I am now. But if I were truly ambitious, I feel, well, I'd already be more than I am now. A sobering thought, Eileen. What if right now, at this very moment, I am living up to my full potential? Go for the burn, yeah, woo! I've been trying to get into positive thinking in a really big way, Eileen. Frankly, I think it's my only hope. My seminar leader said to me, "Chrissy, you are a classic false hope case." Because not only do I have a loose grip on reality, I also have a not-so-tight grip on my fantasies, too. In the seminars, we did this exercise, Eileen. We played this mind game called We Know Everything We Need to Know, If Only We Knew It. And we had to sit and be silent. And our minds would tell us whatever it is we need to know. And I flashed to the time that I lost my contact lens. There I was looking for my contact lens, which I couldn't find because I lost my contact lens. And I thought, wow, story of my life. I've been working on facing my fears, Eileen. My fears are more subtle. Like, I'm constantly afraid of being out of work, and yet when I'm working, I'm constantly afraid of being overworked. The worst fear I have is that this feeling I once had will come back. Okay, bye everybody, great class. This one time, Eileen, I came this close to committing suicide. And I would have done it too, that's how down and low I felt. There was just one thing that stopped me. Fear. So if I ever did commit suicide, I'd have to be desperate enough to get over my fear of suicide. And yet if I overcome a fear like that, I could overcome all my fears, I bet. And here's the real irony. If I could overcome all my fears, well, I'd probably really want to live. Only, if I'd already overcome my fear of suicide, I might have done it. Life can be so ironic. To make any move at all seems completely pointless sometimes. Well, I hope I don't ever feel that low again. I used to be so sensitive. I would just think Donald Trump and I'd burst out into tears. I'm not so sensitive anymore. I don't think about Donald Trump as much as I used to, and I hardly ever burst out into tears. So these seminars have been really good for me, Eileen, which is more than I can say about any job I've ever had. Well, I guess I'm out of here. How they lied about this health club, talk about false hopes. The place to get fit and meet good-looking men. Yeah, well, all the good-looking men here are busy looking at themselves. Yet still I keep coming. I'm keeping really fit, so I tell myself, but the truth is, I just pig out one week and then I starve myself the next. I have gained and lost the same 10 pounds so many times over and over again that my cellulite probably has deja vu. And all this business about exercise releasing endorphins, I have not felt so much as one endorphin being released. Oh well, chalk it up there for false hopes. But hey, if it weren't for false hopes, the entire economy would collapse. Well, oh, I better hurry. My job interview. I could get lucky this time. Requires no skills. I'd just be hooking people up to biofeedback machines. Well, Slinky Dink, I'm out of here.
All right, let's go. Here we go. Yeah, feel great, man. Yeah. All right, here we go. 1, 2, oh, hey Ted, 99, 100. All this bodybuilding, Ted. Lately I've been thinking, like, what's the point? What's the point of being a bodybuilder by day if, like, you're a cokehead by night? And frankly, I'm a little afraid I'm getting burned out on both. I blame a lot of what I'm going through on Penny. You got time to talk, Ted? You mind if I talk? Yeah, well, the whole divorce sure threw me for a loop. Like Penny and I, we had this love like something Kanye West might sing about. And then one day, I'm sitting on the couch, waiting for the game to start, and I see this magazine quiz that Penny's been filling out. Rate your man on a scale of 1 to 10. As a conversationalist, a dresser, a dancer, and a lover. And on everything, every single thing, she'd given me a 3. A 3! I mean, honestly, who the hell even knows what good lovemaking is these days anyway? Every time you turn around, there's some new erogenous zone you gotta explore, like, oh, vaginal, clitoris, X marks the G-spot, the back of the knees. These days, a guy has to have his junk hooked up to an Apple computer, you know what I'm saying? All right, I was no angel. Like, this one night, Penny wasn't feeling well. We had just moved, so there was a lot of tension. So, I pop over to the club to decompress. And there I see this real hot-looking chick, Marge. I'd seen her there before. Real knockout. And so we do some coke. Seemed innocent enough at the time. But then, in a moment of weakness, I pop over to her pad over her plant store. And there we smoke some insane weed that she grew herself, man. And she starts asking me all these questions, though, about my family background, and my talents, and my IQ. And she loves that I've got these eyes like David Bowie. You ever noticed, Ted? Yeah, like one green, one blue, yeah. Turns out, she wants me to be a sperm donor for her 2 friends who want a baby. And I'm in a weird mood, so I'm like, hell, why not? And he gives me this turkey baster to, into, and I just about freaked, but then she explains it to me, and and it all made perfect sense at the time, so I did it, drugs and all. And then when I come down, the guilt just hits me, man, like a karate chop. And I go home and I tell Penny everything because we made this promise that we wouldn't start letting lies build up between us. But man, that was the real mistake. Telling her? I mean, I should have just let the lies pile up. I was so sure that she'd forgive me and we'd be right back on track. But nah, man. One time I made a conscious effort to be honest. It just blows up in my face. Penny's remarried now and moved to Georgia. But I just can't stop thinking about it, Ted, like... The thought occurs to me, what if I've got this secret kid? Like, chances are I do, because I probably got, like, the sperm count and the national debt. And, like, the other night, I'm watching TV, and I see this child genius playing violin like the kid's possessed or something. And I just about changed the channel when I realized that kid looks like me when I was his age. And I just about freak, and I go to get a closer look at the channel, and I swear, Ted, one was green and one was blue. And so I call into the station, but, they said that they don't take messages like that, so yeah, I still think, Ted, what if? And I even obsessed to the point where I go back to the plant store, see if I can talk Marge into telling me, do I have this secret kid or not? All they tell me at the plant store is that Marge's dead. It just hit me, man, like a karate chop. And I get these psychic flashes sometimes, Ted, that kid, except for the genius part, was mine. I can be very psychic sometimes, Ted. Like sometimes I can turn into a rerun of The Twilight Zone, and I'll be able to tell you which episode it is before it even begins. Man. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, oh hell, what's my kid like? Is he happy? Did he have a proper male role model? Did the whole bonding thing happen?
Like mine on your wavelength. Imagine how I must feel. Oh, new channel. I see an elegant woman. Rich type, Fendi bag. Looks like jewelry. Oh, she's got beautiful hands too. Except the left tip on her little finger is missing. She sits impatient at a beauty salon. Could be the one in Tramp's Tower. How long have I been waiting? I have read all the magazines. I must be shampooed again. Lonnie, this is what comes of letting Bucci the arrogant do our hair. I'm here today hoping they can undo some of the harm he's done. I mean, what is this? This side ends, as you can see, well above the ear, and this side ends at the collarbone. I told him, please, Bucci, nothing too radical, but by the time I'd said that, this side was already too radical. That's why this side is less. Oh, Lonnie, you must read this article I just read. It's all about how you can die of boredom. Yes, a slow, agonizing death. Well, have you ever used the phrase, I am dying of boredom? Well, me too. I've used that phrase my entire life. And it says right here, if you use it often enough, that might be exactly what you're doing. And even as I was reading this article to myself, I thought, how boring. Lonnie, guess who was at Raphael's last night? With someone who was not her husband. Can you guess? No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to say that it's someone you know. One part of her hair looks really cool. Yes, I'm having an affair. But not for long, I think. It's one thing to tolerate a boring marriage, but a boring affair just does not make sense. I guess I'm talking about it because I want Freddie to hear about it and get upset. Although the thought has occurred to me that Freddie might hear about it and not get upset. Like last year, I lost the tip of this finger in a horrible taking a selfie while cooking accident. And he has yet to notice. And this haircut. Hard to miss this haircut, and still not one word. I'm going to LA soon to see a plastic surgeon about a new fingertip. Maybe I should ask him to operate on this haircut while he's at it. Oh, I just dread going to LA. If you think I'm bored here, you should see me there. Oh, and I've got to fly to Austin soon to see my friends' kids' one-woman show thing. Some senior project nonsense. I mean, my friend's all excited for her kid because, you know, one-woman show, that's exciting. But, like, I'm just thinking, this high school is putting kids in way over their heads. Encouraging expression like this, please. They say it's supposed to be uplifting, but I still dread it. The last time I saw something that was supposed to be uplifting, I must have dozed off during the uplifting part. I just cannot be uplifted anymore, Lonnie. Or is it that I find being uplifted ultimately boring? Oh, let me take this magazine article with me. Yes, I want to rip it out and give it to all of our friends. Yes, I'm going to have it copied. I finally know what's wrong with all of us. I mean, did you read here? Having everything can make you stop wanting anything. It's called Rich People's Burnout. And if People magazine is writing about it, a magazine not normally known for its psychological insights, well then it must be in epidemic proportions, don't you think?
Uh-oh. Irregular brain waves. I see that girl. The one from the exercise class. She looks up from the newspaper. Oh, there are tears in her eyes. And now she takes the newspaper and she throws them in the trash. Oh, I don't like the look on her face. Now she takes something out. She starts writing something down, a letter, maybe a note. Well, now she scratches something out and starts to look something up. Oh, new channel. I see a skinny, punk-haired kid. She's got hair the color of Fruit Loops.
Hello? Charlotte? Look, it's vital you let me stay at your house tonight. But don't ask me to explain. Just can't you force your mom to say yes? Just make your mom let me stay over. Look, my parents think you're a bad influence on me too, and so just for that, I'm not gonna let you run the equipment at my gig tonight. You're out of my life, Charlotte. You're herstory. You better drop off my iPod at the Unclub, or I will sue you for all you're worth, Charlotte. It's vital. Hey, get out of here, you freak. Can't you see I'm using the phone? And don't touch that cage. That's my parakeet in there. Hello? Look, it's vital I talk to the radio shrink. My name's Agnes. Agnes Angst. I'm 15, and my parents just kicked me out of the house today, and I want to know if that's legal. I'm in the ladies' room at the International House of Pancakes. Look, I don't have much time. Hello? Is this Dr. Casolra, the radio psych? Yeah. Listen, Doc. They changed the locks on me. Yeah, maybe it was something I did. I didn't say I was innocent. But like whatever I do is wrong anyway. Like my stepmom. Oh, well, my real mom's off in Europe or Germany doing her art thing. Yeah, she's a performance artist like me. No, you see, there was this whole big beef because my real mom's a lesbian, so the court gave me to my dad. Oh yeah, he's a gene splicer. A bio-businessman in a lab of applied science where he's working on some new bioform he thinks I'll be able to patent. He doesn't get that I am a new bioform. Get out of here, you bio... Weirdo! Phone, parakeet! Duh! Yeah. So today, I go to my dad's lab to get some money for some gear for my act. And there I see this glob of bioplasm chilling in a petri dish. I lean over, course, my dad has this mad scientist alert like, oh, you ruined hundreds of years of research. But he doesn't get that he loves that bioform more than he loves me. Yeah, I thought of calling the hotline for runaways, but I was worried they might not take throwaways like me. Yeah, I mean, I could live with my grandparents, but no, I couldn't, man. We got nothing in common. What? Go to commercial? I can't believe you're just brushing me off to sell me some product that probably killed some poor lab rat. You know, you've been about as helpful as a regular rat. Yeah. Hey, where's my parakeet? Hey, that creep stole my parakeet! Conway Tweety! Hey, all you IHOP losers! You must have seen someone walk out with a cage. You all saw me walk in with one. Oh. Or somewhere in suburbia. I see an old couple. They're watching television. Oh, they're watching that woman who used to sell Tupperware.
Talking about vibrators that way. The things you see on TV these days. What kind of crazy world do we live in?
Lud, who is it that said that thing? Oh, you know that thing. Who is it that said that quote about what?
Did you just hear yourself, Marie?
I think so. I just said what?
You tried to remember a quote without remembering who said it or what it was that they said.
Oh, yes, and that never happens to you, I suppose. No, that never happens to him, Fluffy, does it?
If I couldn't remember what somebody said, or what it was that they said, or who it was that said it, I simply would not bring up this subject, Marie. I would just keep my mouth shut. Something I wish you'd do more often.
Oh, that's it. Get along, Fluffy, get. I used to let you talk to me that way because I told myself that it was your hernia that made you so hateful. Oh, I have just let you walk all over me. You know, Janet used to beg me. She used to say, oh, Mama, please raise a consciousness-raising group. And I was like, honey, what on earth would I do with a consciousness-raising group?
You know what your problem is, Marie?
Yes, it's you.
You've got the brains of a hummingbird. Makes you appear flighty and unfocused. Some people have pea brains, some people have hair brains, and some people
Have the brains of male chauvinist pigs.
Oh, now who's being hateful? Shh. I hear something coming up the driveway.
Granddad, it's Agnes. Let me in. This is art. This is soup. No, this is art and this is soup. Oh, we must dash soon. I'm taking the aliens to Stonehenge. I like to plan it so that we have at least one peak experience a day. When you got aliens coming in from out of town, you want to do something special. It's great traveling with the aliens. You go faster than the speed of speed. Yep, they're just about perfect. Except for one thing, their personal appearance. They look like a mess of ribonucleic acid poured out of a jello mold too soon. Plus they got no eyelids. That alone would drive me up the wall. We're delving deep into the history of humanity. I am a mound of information. Like the other day, we stumbled across when humankind first made an ass of itself, and then we stumbled across when humankind first laughed. Guess what? We first laughed after we first made an ass of ourselves. The aliens love that about us. After we laughed, we reflected a little bit. Around this time was when the first knock-knock joke came about. Knock-knock. Who's there? We're not sure. We're new at this. Oh, thank goodness for these Post-it notes. I've got the information right at my fingertips. Let me read you some of our latest findings. Pteranophilia is the fear of being tickled by feathers. Well, that's kind of useless. You are what you think. Well, geez, that's frightening. Throughout the universe, did you know that we are the only species to have a Miss Universe competition? Throughout the cosmos, we find species of intelligent life that play to play. We are the only ones that play to win. Explains why we have more than our fair share of losers. Yeah, they're pretty critical of us, although they do admit that we are best when it comes to stuff you can make with a blender. You know, I was getting a cup of coffee with them the other day, and this weird look comes over their face, and they point to the non-dairy creamer and they say, "That's exactly what we're made out of."
Agnes! Turn that junk music off! You better get some manners, young lady, or else!
Or else what, granddaddy dipshit? Or else you aren't gonna be lacked, honey. And you do want to be lacked, don't you? Everybody wants to be lacked. Not me! I'm different!
Well, I can't argue with that.
Lud, do you realize... Oh, get along. Go. Lud, do you realize that not one thing has turned out the way that we planned it? Not our timeshare, not our retirement plan, not our patio edition out back, not our daughter, and now not our granddaughter.
You know what your problem is, Marie? No, it's not me. You're too negative. About 92% of the time, you're negative.
Yes, and about 92% of the time, I'm dead right.
Oh, well, if you're so dead right all the time, how come we have a pink-haired punk granddaughter got the manners of a terrorist? You know, old man Sanders stopped me the other day. Said he saw something weird in our yard. Said it was downright eerie. Was worried we might have poltergeists. I had to tell him, nope, that was no poltergeist. That was my granddaughter. She glows in the dark because her necklace is a reflective flea collar. Yeah. Now how do you think that makes me feel?
Oh, Lud, how do you think that makes me feel? You should have just gone on believing that we have poltergeists. Oh, speak of the devil, Agnes, I demand to know where you are going at this hour of the night looking like that. You wouldn't want to know. Good, stupid country off of me. Excuse me while I fluff up. My space chums are due any minute. They're worried about our involvement. They say everything is connected to everything. They started talking about a little something they call interstellar, interspecies symbiosis. To hold up my end of the conversation, I asked them to elaborate. And then they brought up the quantum inseparability principle. Every particle is connected to every particle everywhere else. They tried to bring down quantum physics to a level I could more easily misunderstand. But here's what I gathered from it all. It seems like there's some sort of cosmic gorilla glue connecting all of us together. We all timeshare the same atoms. What is above us is only sky, but what is above us is also below us. What is here is also there, so said the Upanishads. But the question still remains, who the hell are the Upanishads? I've got big plans for my space chums. Should be a peak experience. A violin concert, all kids. Oh, geez, this is so embarrassing. I must get these Post-its collated. I've got Post-its everywhere, Post-its coming out of my ear. Let's see. As usual, we came out of our late meeting as confused as ever. But let me read you some of our latest findings. Humans are the only primates that don't have pigment in the palm of their hands. More useless information. When a man dies of thirst, do his eyes tear up? Did Adam have a belly button? Was it an innie or an outie? When a man gets hung, he gets an erection. But when a woman gets hung, the last thing on her mind is sex. Just as soon humans began to discover the truth about themselves, they began to find ways to cover up that truth. But this might be for the best. Our ability to delude ourselves could be an important survival tool. Like, we found evidence of what first motivated man to walk upright. It was to free his hands from masturbation. We did some studies, but we can only speculate. It seems that at one point, human beings were hunters and gatherers, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we became party goers. We did some studies, but we can only speculate. We speculated what it was like before human man first developed language skills. I personally think we developed language because of our deep inner need to complain. Once we realized that not only we could talk, we also realized we could talk behind each other's back. And once primitive man learned that not only could he talk, be talked about, well, primitive man got paranoid. And with everyone so paranoid came stress, and with stress came war, and the rest is history. You know, the aliens are worried about this whole stress factor we're so susceptible to. They worry. They worry about us. They worry more than that high school actress talks about peeing herself. They said, Trudy, the human mind is the most thought-stirring, neuro-numbing, heart-boggling of all. They said that just as the entire chemistry of the ocean can be found in one drop of seawater, so can all the amazing human polarities be found crammed into one biocontainer. Or to use our word, human body. And it might just be too much for one biocontainer to grapple with. Frankly, I think they're showing signs of stress. They keep asking me to dial switch back to certain people so they can see what happened to them. I think the whole emotional bonding thing is happening. Oh, we're all just overworked. Who knows how long we can keep up this pace? You know, something they said the other day gave me a pang. Makes me wonder if they're thinking about leaving. They wanted to know where they could get some souvenirs and some postcards. And so I took them to some shops. And frankly, I was embarrassed for my species. Everything was in such bad taste. But they said they understand. They said that Earth is a planet still in its puberty. In fact, from their planet, Earth looks like it has pimples. I did have some I Heart Mankind t-shirts printed up. Oh, almost time for the concert. We must go soon. You know how I love to impress them with all the miraculous stuff that human beings are capable of? Well, if a violin concert of all kids doesn't knock them out, well then, I'll eat my umbrella hat. Oh, here come my space chums now. Hey, you guys. I've been waiting for you. Hey, listen, I'm really all you need. Besides, too many cooks spoiled the soup. Soup. Art. Soup. No, this is art, and this is soup. No, this is art, and this is soup. No, art, soup. Oh, sounds like thunder. Well, everybody put on your umbrella hats and follow me. I'm getting my act together, and I'm throwing it in your face. I want to insult every member of the human race. My name's Agnes Angst, and I don't kiss ass and I don't say thanks. Tonight will be a night of sharing for the sharing impaired. After all, we are all soulmates on this intergalactic dustbin that we call outer space. In the universe, there are 100,000 galaxies, and each galaxy, 100,000 stars. So the fact that my parents kicked me out of the house today and somebody stole my parakeet shouldn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things, but no. I'm
I'm quite upset about it. You know, before I came out tonight, my grandmother said to me, Agnes, as long as you're going out, you better take out the trash. And I look around, and I see their seashell shadow box, and my grandma's lima bean and split pea mosaic decoupage hanging over granddaddy's Berkline recliner. And I see their Simu early American coffee table in the shape of a wagon wheel. And I see their early imitation knick-knack shelf holding up their salt and pepper shaker collection. And I see a wrought iron lamppost with a ceramic drunk leaning up against it. Take out the trash, I wanted to say. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Listen, I want to share something vital with you that I learned out of a self-help book that I found in the ladies' room trash can at an IHOP. Will by G. Gordon Liddy. My new guru. When holding his hand over a lit candle, said the trick is not to mind it. And I didn't mind when O.J. Simpson murdered his ex-wife. And I didn't mind when Robin Williams took his own life. And I didn't mind that I was born into a world with so much transgender hate, and that I must have missed out on most of the things that made America great. But I don't mind it. I don't mind that no matter how much contempt I have for society, it is nothing compared to the contempt that society has for me. I don't mind that truth in advertising is probably some lie thought up by some guy in advertising. I didn't mind when there was no more avant-garde, but my mom took it pretty hard. You know, I used to be proud that I stuck out from a crowd, but now everybody is marching to the tune of their own drummer. What a bummer! You know, I didn't mind when I took my goldfish and put it in water from the faucet and it died. The drinking water caused it. And I don't mind that when I used my mouth-to-mouth resuscitation skills, my father yelled, "You're the daughter of a scientist, it should have been out the gills." I don't mind it. I don't mind that every morning I get up, I feel like I want to vomit. I don't mind that the teenage suicide rate is soaring like Halley's Comet. The boy I loved in school most died last year of an overdose. But I don't mind it. I have set my goal to become so strong. Shed one tear. I want my skin to thicken so that if I am panic-stricken on the day that atomic warfare gets here, I won't even feel the fear of watching me and the whole world disappear. The trick is not to mind it. If you're looking for peace, this is where you'll find it. G. Gordon Liddy showed me the way, and I have been on heavy metaphor maintenance all day. For life is like that burning candle, and we are like G. Gordon Liddy's hand hovering over it. And it hurts like hell. But the trick is not to mind it. I mind it! Wow! What a concert! What a show! Amazing! I can still hear the violin music in my head. What is it in our brains that allows us to recall music after it's over? And why is it that certain music gives us lumps in our throats? The aliens want to know why we don't get lumps in our ears. They're impressed with our ability to get lumps in our throats. Apparently, we're unique in that respect. Yeah, they wanted to know if getting lumps in your throat was anything like goosebumps. I said, what, you've never had goosebumps before? And they said no. They wanted me to explain goosebumps. Do they come from the heart? Do they come from the soul? Or do they come from geese? Well, this sent us mad philosophic. All these trances, all this data, and all we really know is how little we know about it. Plus, there's the added question of what it means to know something. Scientists say that for every truth that you discover to be true, the opposite can also be considered true.
So when it feels like we're going in circles, well, no wonder we really are. My space chum said, Trudy, we realize now that knowledge is just the tip of the iceberg. The more you know, the less it means to know something. So forget the meaning of life.
I hadn't told him. I already had.
There is more to knowing than we could ever know. Plus, there's the added fact of what it means to know something. Oh, don't look at me. This is the way that they talk. You know, Sir Isaac Newton secretly admitted to his friends that he understood how gravity behaved, not how it worked. So maybe instead of searching for the meaning of life, we should just sit back and enjoy the mystery. Mystery, not meaning. This should be comforting to those who think that life is meaningless. I mean, it might as well just be. It would explain why we have so many meaningless things in our lives. But if life is meaningless, well then, that's the greatest mystery of all.
If life is meaningless, then why the hell bring up the subject? If life is meaningless, then this conversation is infinitely more so.
We thought about this, but not for long. Because no matter how expanded your worldview gets, your attention span remains as short as ever. Next, they were trying to get me to take them to somewhere that they could get goosebumps. They were dying to see what it was like. So I decided to take them to a play. You know, I got goosebumps once that way. And on the way to the play, we stopped to look up at the stars. And as usual, I was in awe. And then I felt even deeper awe in the human capacity to be in awe of something. And then I felt even more awestruck at the thought that in some small way, I was a part of that which I was in awe about. And this feeling just went on. And my space chums came up with a word for it, awe infinitum. Because at the moment you can be in awe of all that you don't understand, well, you're about as smart as you need to be. And I just felt so good inside, and my heart so full. Because at the moment that you can comprehend how incomprehensible it all is, well, you're closer to comprehending it than any other time.
Lonnie, I've just had the most extraordinary evening. Oh, you look soaked. But doesn't the rain feel good? Yes, waiters, 2 brandies. Lonnie, since I last saw you, I feel like a new person. Oh, no, it's not the new finger, but it's nice, isn't it? Yes, well, where to begin? This evening, I saw a young man playing violin. Absolute genius. Oh, and before I forget, here's that article I wanted to give you, the one about boredom. Oh, sorry, no, that's my suicide note. Oh, well, no, not my suicide note. It's one that I found that I haven't been able to throw away because, well, I'm not really sure. It's the strangest effect. You see, I saw this suicide note out in the street, out where my exercise class was. And I don't know why, but I picked it up. I mean, you know, it's more my nature to step over things. But something compelled me. I took it as a sign. You know, lately I've been looking for signs. The closer I get to menopause, the more metaphysical I'm becoming, I swear. You know, I had no idea who it belonged to, but I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. There should be a service one could use in instances like this, but there isn't. I was saddened by what she said in the note. But even more so when I realized that losing the note could only add to her feelings of low self-esteem. Further evidence she couldn't do anything right. Go ahead and say it. I'm possessed. What is it about this phantom person that is so compelling? She seems so fragile, yet so courageous, too. Ironically, there is in this suicide note more feeling, more forgiveness, more capacity for life than, well, whoever this person is or was, she was not jaded. She was not bored. Her only real complaint was something she called false hopes. And so if she ever did commit suicide, well, it would be out of feeling too much, not too little. I mean, there's hardly a trace of bitterness or petty or anything in here, and that's really something, don't you think? I mean, in writing a suicide note, the real person has to come out.
There's no dramatics, there's no terminal illness, no tragedy, just a lifetime of feeling dismissed by, well, everyone, Lonnie, except I guess me. Lonnie, this experience has made me realize how closed off to people's suffering I've been, including my own. I was reminded of something Kafka wrote this evening about getting filled with a sense of endless astonishment simply out of seeing a group of people cheerfully assembled. This young man came up to me, clearly from out of town, and he said,
How do I get to Carnegie Hall?
and this little bag lady runs up and yells, "Practice!" And the bag lady and the man and I all caught each other's eyes and we just... we just started laughing. There we were. 3 perfect strangers standing in the rain laughing. And then, out of nowhere, the bag lady does the dearest thing. She offers me her umbrella hat. She said I needed it more than she did because this side of my hair was beginning to shrink. And Lonnie, I did the strangest thing. I took it. Hey, what are you guys still doing here? Huh, what's this? I don't remember this in my junk bag. Dear Trudy, thanks for making our stay here so jam-packed and fun-filled. Sorry to abort our mission, It's not over, just temporarily scrapped. We have orders to go to a higher vibrational plane. Just wanted you to know the neurochemical imprints of our cardiocortical experiences here on Earth will remain with us always. But what we take with us into space that we cherish most is the goosebump experience. Did I not tell you what happened at the play? Oh, how could I forget? Okay, so we're standing there in the back of the dark theater, and one of the aliens leans over and tugs on my sleeve and says, "Trudy, look!" And I said, "Yup, those are goosebumps, all right. You really like the play that much?" And they said it wasn't the play that gave them goosebumps. It was the audience. Yeah, to see a group of people sitting in the dark, laughing and crying at the same stuff, just knocked them right out. They said, Trudy, the play was soup, the audience, heart.